Okay, so I want to introduce the speakers. The first person that is on our panel is Dr. Mrs. Okuboyejo, although she always asks me not to refer to her as Dr. Mrs. Okuboyejo. I hope you can hear me, sorry. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So Dr. Mrs. Okuboyejo, I choose to introduce her as so for now. So she's a data science freelancer based in the United States, and she has a PhD in management information sciences and also a postdoctoral fellow. And she has about over 10 years experience in data science management. She's passionate about using data science to improve business process and revenue. And it's so great to have you here. We are hoping to learn a lot. The second speaker that we have for today, or the second person on the panel that we have for today, is Pelumi Oguntunde. He also has a PhD in mathematics, and he did his postdoctoral research at Edinburgh University, Germany in 2019. He works as a manager in data and analytics in data analytics unit of PwC, and at present is the head of the PwC Digital Academy in Nigeria. As a consultant in data science space, he engages in offering solutions like data governance, data management, business intelligence, advanced analytics solutions, particularly focused on customer segmentation and churn analytics. So, and presently he's interested in the area of robotics and process automation. So we're really looking forward to, learn a lot from him today, and I hope it will be a wonderful time. So quickly, we'll go straight to business. We have some other people joining us too. I'm not too sure whether they're on the call, but as they join us, they will say one or two things. Okay, so we'll just go quickly to the business of the day so that we have enough time to attend to our questions. This is an informal webinar, as it were. It's not something that we want to be too protocoled about. We just want these experienced people to share whatever they have learned over the years, and then see how we can actually benefit from it, particularly as regards how we can be able to put some things in place, even if not now, put some things in place, for us to be able to use data science in our businesses or to improve our businesses and so on and so forth. So we are going to go to the speakers, and I'm going to be asking the questions. And the first one that I have here is, why should I be interested in investing in anything related to data science for my business, whether it's even now or in future? The question is as a business, because as a consultant, I've had opportunity to interact with a lot of businesses, and most of the feedback is like, I don't really need this thing now. At least I can survive without it. Why are you making it so much, a big deal? Why is there so much hype about it? So why do I really need, to invest in anything related to data science? So I'd like to start with Mr. Pelumi Oguntunde, or Dr. Pelumi Oguntunde, sorry. So I don't know how you want me to address you. Please just let me know, and then you can help us react to the question. Thank you. So you have the floor, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, can we hear me? I don't know if my microphone is it's good enough.
Yes, I think I can hear you. I don't know of any other person. Do you have any other person there that can respond to him? Or you can just...
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, or you can just put it in the chat.
Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. So my name is Pelumi again, so I think I'll prefer to answer Pelumi. So
okay, thank you.
Your name. All right, thank you, everyone, and nice meeting us here. So let me just go straight to address that question. To my own point of view. So as a business, whether you are small scale or whether you are large scale, I know that every business starts small, okay? No matter how big you are. So they all started somewhere. Some started even from the corner of their rooms, right? All right, so it's investing in data science analytics, whether now or in future, would help your business to leverage on some things that you have hidden in your data set. You know, we all generate data sets, right? Whether small or big. So we generate data sets every time, every day. So when you sell something, you generate data set. When you recruit, you generate data set. Okay, when you purchase inventory, you generate data set. Okay, so leveraging on these things will help your business grow because you have competitors. So let's assume that I have a pure water business, for instance. I have competitors. So if I am able to invest in data science or analytics, and I have that skills and capabilities, it means that I can ensure real-time intelligence in the sense that I know what is going on at every point in time. Okay, there's something we call business intelligence in data science. So we have business intelligence, we have advanced analytics, right? So you can you'll be sure that you have real-time intelligence in the sense that you can monitor your processes, you can monitor your businesses, you can also generate insights on the go. So you don't need to wait till the end of the month, for instance, to know how your business is faring. You need to wait till the end of the week before you generate reports, right? So at every day, every moment, you can automate some stuff and generate insights on the go. I advise people, for instance, when they talk about the use of a software called Microsoft Power BI, where they can use, which they can use to present reports, okay? You can even automate, okay? So you can automate and know if you have a chain of businesses, you can automate and know what is going on across your businesses, okay? So we have what is called enterprise continuous monitoring. You can monitor whatever is going on across your network. Apart from this, data science analytics can also help you in marketing. It can help you in cross-marketing or maybe, so let me say, upselling or cross-selling. In the sense that let's look at businesses like, I don't know, how many minutes do I have to answer this question? So I don't.
Let's just say like 2 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. So, so let's assume that you have a business, for instance. So it can help you in cross-selling or upselling. So those in marketing, it could be useful. It can help you to market your business. So instead of you just marketing your products anyhow, to me, for instance, I do not even need what you are marketing. So if you invest in data science, there's something we call market basket. Some people call it next best offer, right? Some people call it recommendation engine. So it's similar to what Facebook, Konga, and the likes, what they use, okay? So if you log into Facebook, for instance, now, Facebook will recommend to you that people you may know. And eventually you see that these people, you might actually know them, right? So at times you log into maybe Konga or Jumia, you want to purchase something and text you that people also view this. Maybe you are looking out for shirts and some people also look out for belts. That's one of the things that data science can do for us. So one of the things that can use data science is something like association mining. I can use that to upsell or cross-sell to your customers. It can also help you to secure your data. You know, the integrity of our data is very important, right? So it can help you to secure your data and also help you in prediction. So how you can, your business is at maybe 10 billion naira at the moment. You can predict and know what you are likely to get in the next 5 years. You can predict attrition, for instance. If you have a business that people are resigning, you can predict your attrition rates of your staff. You can predict customers churn, for instance. You can predict several things. So it can help you in prediction. It can help you in real-time intelligence. It can help you to secure your data. It can also help you in cross-selling and upselling. Let me stop there. And I would like to take more questions if not otherwise. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We'll move to Dr. Okuboyejo.
Thank you very much, Ma. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, good afternoon.
Oh, that's true.
Let me just start my video. Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, so my name is Sena Okuboyejo. Sena, just call me Sena.
Okay.
Okay, so I would, as a continuation from where Pelumi stopped, I would say data science would help you actually personalize your services especially to your customers. I will just speak on that point and say, with data science, you can actually target your products to specific audiences. Like when you have a product or when you have a service, it's very normal to want to get people's feedback or opinion on that particular product. And you know, normally you tend to like maybe use surveys, or you want to let them drop their feedback or suggestions or anything. Maybe you have a suggestion box in your office. But nowadays, people with the presence of social media, with the presence of electronic platforms, people just go somewhere or to drop their comments or their feedback, and they tag whoever is supposed to hear that particular comment of that on that product. So how do you actually get to hear those feedback? Some may never come back to your company, some may never get back to you, or they may never get in touch with you again. But they've dropped a comment, they've said something somewhere, and you need those feedback to actually improve your business. So how do you actually get that? With the use of data science, you can actually get your feedback, you can analyze those feedback, and then you can actually use that to improve your service or to improve your product. And then at the end of the day, you can actually personalize or customize products for certain organizations or for a group of people or a target audience. You may now say, oh, okay, no, instead of making this product for the working class, let me focus on maybe adolescents, let me focus on teens, because based on the feedback we've heard and based on our findings and predicting the future of this product, I think we will do better with the adolescents, or we'll do better with teenagers. And then you begin to fine-tune your processes, you begin to fine-tune your services to suit that particular target audience or the target population. So I would just say, alongside what Pelumi has said, you can use data science, especially for customer retention, for improving your processes, for personalizing your services to your intended group audience. Data science will help you do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful response. We'll go to the second question so that we can be able to take a lot of questions. But please, as you are joining us, if you have any question in mind, you can drop it in the chat and we will attend to it. For the second one, we have here, and anybody can also raise up his or her hands to react, okay, to the question, so that it won't just be restricted to only the speakers. So for the second one, we have it here, and I think this is the biggest question that I've always, been faced with anytime I am opportune to talk to businesses. The data that they have is either in form of receipts, online, digital form or not digital form, sometimes in higher education, sometimes the best that you will get is in form of an Excel sheet. And they are so enthusiastic and they want to use data science to improve their business, revenue or however, maybe to make their business visible and the likes. So the question we have for our speakers is, what can we advise them to do? How can they, from that particular point, what can they do to be able to maximize data science for their business? We'll start with Senna this time around.
Okay, for those who, you already have data and it's still in paper form or Excel. If you have it in an Excel sheet, fine. There are tools that you can plug to your Excel sheets. You can still do a lot of these data science processes on Excel. That's very fine. But if you have it on paper, you have your receipts. I think the first thing you have to do is to get those things automated. You have to get those receipts, those registries, those journals, you have to get them into electronic form. It might take a while, but that will be the first thing to start with. Like convert them, find a shorter way of converting them. Some you can scan, maybe you scan them and then you use some recognition systems to help you extract the data, or you just try to extract data from that paper and convert it to electronic form, maybe using your Excel. And with that, you can start your predictive analysis. You can start identifying or start getting your summaries, or you start getting a database for short. And I would say subsequently, you just need to start using to start automating your processes. And it doesn't mean investing in high-end softwares or high-end tools. I'm sure many of us have smartphones. We have at least a smartphone, and you can download an app. You can convert your smartphone to your business, like customize your smartphone to your business, and just start using apps. Download apps. There are several apps that can help you automate those processes, and they are free of charge. You can use, you can download an inventory manager, a record keeping app, where you just begin to issue electronic receipts instead of paper receipts. And with that, you are beginning to build your data. You are beginning to build your database such that you can actually get to track, you can keep track of all your customers henceforth. And if they have history with you already, you might just need to go back into time and start getting whatever transaction they've done with your company from that. But if you are still on paper, I think you intend to go data science way, I think you need to start automating your processes, and it is very, 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 very cheap to do that. If you're a business owner, download an app, use that to manage your businesses. You can even use that to generate reports. Those apps give you monthly reports, weekly reports, and with that, you've taken the first step into actually investing in data science. And I think from there, we are good to go. There are several of those apps. There are several apps that can help you actually automate these processes. I, for one, I use a lot of them. No matter what I sell, no matter what service I render, there's always an invoice on my phone. There's always a receipt I generate to also help me keep track of payments made, of money received. And at the end of the day, I can actually balance myself to say, okay, this is how far I've done, this is what I've done. And I can see a list of all my customers, even way back 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, I can see my customers and how I've grown over time just on my phone on the go. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pelumi, let's hear from you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. And apologies, I forgot to greet the first speaker. So I hope my apologies accepted. Right.
Apology accepted.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so let me go back to that question, and let me pick it up from where she stopped. I would also like to say that every standard business should have a database or a data warehouse, every standard business, okay? All right, so it helps you, because if you have a data repository where you can always go to, in data science, we call it single source of truth, okay? So that instead of you having silos of data everywhere, so you have a single repository where you can trust and, of course, secure, right? Where you can always go to extract information. However, if you do not have that because of the age of the business or because of the size of your business, you can always start from where you are. I will say minimum Excel. Even Excel is limited. I think when Excel takes like 2 million rows or something, I think there are limits to what you can do with Excel. And there are even some advanced analytics that you won't be able to do with Excel. But at the minimum, okay, so you can start with Excel, okay? So you can migrate whatever hard copies you have to Excel. At least have a place where you store your stuff. You can also migrate them to the cloud to make it more secure. There are several things you can do in terms of to secure your data. But irrespective, you can start. I will recommend Excel at the minimum, okay? I recommend Excel at the minimum. Even though Excel is limited, we can talk about that as we go on, but at the minimum, Excel. So migrate anything you have to Excel, automate your process like Senna said, so that you have your stuff digitalized, not that you have them in form of paper that can get missing products can be compromised. Thank you. I don't know if I've answered the question. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, I think so. Well, let's hear from the audience. Do we have any gray area that we would like them to say more about as we get to that question? So you can unmute yourself and say something if you want us to address any particular area of that question. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so we can move on to some of the other questions. Yes, well, this question might be a little bit domain specific, but at the same time, I'm trusting our speakers to help us to see how they can navigate through the question. What kind of data should I start storing, okay, as a business? Okay, the question is, I've been advised now that I can even start with Excel, or I can use an app, okay, even if I don't have money to invest in all the enterprise solution, Microsoft the enterprise solution that is data analytics enabled and all that. Okay, if I don't have to go that far, I can just start, you know, with apps and all that. So, but now I have decided to start. What kind of data should I now, you know, start gathering to be able to leverage on analytics in future? So I'd like to start from Pelumi this time.
All right, thank you, Ma.
Yes, sir.
All right, so like I always say, data is not the very first thing you should rush at, right? So data is not the very first thing. The very first thing is, what challenge do I want to address? Okay, what problem do I want to solve? Okay, what insight do I want to generate? That is the very first thing, and that informs you of the kind of data you should collect. Because if you rush, for standard organization, for instance, if you rush to collect data, go to IT, please give me data. They'll give you data. What kind of data? Customer data. They give you everything, okay? If you work in a bank, so they give you transaction data, BVN, account number, and at the end of the day, what they are giving you might not be relevant to the kind of problem you want to solve. The problem I want to solve, for instance, might be I want to resolve things around the queue we have in the bank. I want to resolve queue problem. What I might just need might just be to pay attention to the waiting time of customers on the queue, maybe the service time of the cashiers on the desk. That might just be all that I need. So the kind of data you are going to generate depends on the kind of service, on the kind of business you do. So for instance, it could be transaction records, okay? People buy, right? You sell. So you can start gathering things around transaction records. Customer service, people calling for complaints, right? So if they don't call in, at least they come in for to give you complaints. So you can also have data around complaints so that you know how to resolve them going forward. You can have things around performance, okay? I don't know the kind of business we do individually. I'm just saying this generally, okay? I've mentioned things around transaction records. I've mentioned things around customer service, the complaints people make. Then I also talk about performance, right? It's also been in terms of inventory, where you purchase, right? You purchase this, we secure this, we buy this and that. So data is everything. That is why in secondary school, because our data is unprocessed information. I would also like to state that data may not necessarily be in form of figure, because we have structured and unstructured data. So data might not necessarily be figured. Okay, anything information. My picture is data. My voice is data. Text is data. Okay, and we generate data every now and then. We generate data every now and then. So anything that deals with your business, anything around information around your business, I will call them data sets. Those some might be complex to handle, but some are simpler to handle because it might be structured to some extent. So depending on the kind of business you do, I know definitely we'll be having things around sales, right? So you want to have things around your transaction reports, sales reports, your inventory, your purchases, things around staff as well, okay, payroll details, and several stuff. So depending on the kind of business you do, and like I said earlier when I started, the kind of problem you want to solve determines the type of data you should collect. So it's not that data comes first before the problem. No, it's the problem you want to solve that comes first. What kind of insight will I be generating? What kind of things I want to be seeing? What do I want to be seeing? Okay, I want to see my financial status every now and then. I want to see my transaction records, right? I want to see my sales. I want to see how my staff are performing. That is performance records, payroll. Okay, so already know what you want to do. Now, that now informs you of the kind of information you should gather. So you have things around your staff ID or your staff identity. You have things around their salary scale, things around their agenda. So depending on the kind of stuff you want to do. So anything I would say is data. Anything that relates to your business, anything that relates to your business is data. Because data itself is information. Be it in form of number, be it in form of figure, be it in form of text, be it in form of audio. Even fingerprint is data. That is why you could withdraw money with your ATM, with your fingerprint without having to use your ATM card. You know it happens, right? There are some banks where you don't need to go with your ATM cards, just use a fingerprint. So that means at a point in time, you have, I'm sorry about taking time. So
no, it's okay, it's okay.
All right, that means that there are some points that you must have provided your details, your fingerprints, your picture, and they must have linked some things together, put some things blockchain. So they must have linked some things together. They must have linked your transactions, your account number, your account name, your BVN, everything together. And that enables you to make withdrawals from the ATM. So irrespective, so don't think that some things are not data sets. Anything that you can gather, begin to gather them now and keep them safe. They are going to be useful at some point. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Stena, please help us react to the question too.
There is no reaction except to say well done for your job. To say well done to Pelumi. He has answered he has answered everything, and he has given you the reasons or where to start from, which is very, very important. What do you want to achieve? That would give you, once you're able to answer that question, and you know what data you would need and how to actually segment the data. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any reaction from the audience? Something not clear? I have a question in the chat though, but I'll take it after. Okay, so maybe I should just take the question in the chat before we go to the final question. So we have a question in the chat that says, apart from Excel, what are the other repositories that we can use on a computer that is not expensive? That's how the question is. Anybody can answer it from the audience, can help us say something, or even react to anything, you know, since we have started the chat.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so aside Excel, maybe because of my IT background, I use a lot of applications. I use a lot of web applications that are free. Some of them, they have the standard version that is free. When you now need additional features or additional processes, they may charge you a token, maybe yearly or monthly, but basically most of them come with the basics that you need, and they are free and they are good. You can install them, even though some of them don't have your data stored on the system, it's stored in the cloud, but you have access to it by just registering. So I use a lot of them. I actually don't pay for any of the apps that I use now because many of the features that I need are in the standard version and I have access to my data. So you may not even need to install, you may just download. One that I use is, I use an app called Wave. I use Wave. Wave is almost like an enterprise system. It has all the features that I need and I'm using it very well. and it's free for now, except I need extra features. So you can just sit and look at what do I really need to do? What do I want to do? And which of these applications offer the best service, and then you are good to go. There are a lot of it. So aside Excel, there are so many out there. You just need to identify what you want to address, what kind of data you really want to store, and then look for apps that are in that, or softwares that are in that particular category.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't advertise. I didn't mean to advertise Wave. I only mentioned it.
Okay.
They didn't pay me to say this. Yeah, I'm not advertising them, but I just use that as an example of an app that I use. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I want us to take the last question before we now take general questions or reactions. So finally, the last question has to do with, I think, finance and all that. So maybe somebody is not too clear about what exactly, I think we have even touched on some of the things that could be the answer as some of the speakers were talking. So like the question, outrightly says that as an SME, okay, how can I position my business for data science, particularly if I don't have, the financial investment in solutions, enterprise solutions, and also staff. For example, I'm not particularly, data science inclined and all that, and I still want to see how I'll leverage on data science. So are you advising that I look for maybe a staff, okay, or maybe I do it yourself? Is it something I can do yourself, or what's your advice? That's the way the question was posted. So, Mr. Pelumi, let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. So the question, so how can you position yourself to start using data science, even if you don't have enough fund at the moment? Okay, so I'll say the right time to start is now, even though you don't have the fund. Okay, for you to ask that question means that you have interest in data science. You want to start making decisions, and you don't want to base a decision just on intuition, right? You want your decisions to be fact-based. So that is why you want to start investing in data science. So number one, you need to get your data right. We have talked about data, because there is no way you talk about data science without talking about data, right? So you need to get your data right. Then when you are done with that, I think I would also like to touch based on something that we call analytics maturity curve. So you can start from the smallest part, right? Even if you don't have enough money to invest, you can employ an analyst. You can have a data analyst that can help you with this in case you don't have that skill, or in case you don't have that time, but it will also take time, right? So you can invest in a data analyst if you can afford to, even though the work might be too much for a data analyst, because we have something called data analysts, we have data scientists, we have data engineer, and they have different roles, right? But in this part of the world, we tend to use them anyhow. So I employ a data analyst, I use the person as a data analyst, use it as a data scientist, I use it as a data engineer, and I'm overworking this guy, and the guy is not happy, right? But you can have somebody, right, maybe a data analyst at the minimum, that can help you. But in case you do not have that one, you can also invest in yourself and start making these decisions the little way you can. So the analytics maturity curve starts from descriptive analytics, right? Because descriptives talk about what had happened. So you can start at analyzing what had happened in your business, the sales you made. Okay, last month, what was our performance last month? Last week, what did we do? What happened last week? What happened last month? So you can start with descriptive analytics. Then when you outgrow that, you can move to the next level that talks with diagnostics. Let me just run us through that analysis maturity curve. We have descriptive analytics, we have diagnostics analysis, we have predictive analytics, we have prescriptive analytics, and one new thing that just came in is cognitive analytics. There we talk about robotics, and we talk about artificial intelligence. A number of businesses are not there yet, so let us just leave that now. But we can start with descriptives. Start talking about, okay, analyzing what had happened in the past. Then you can go to diagnostics, where you start probing to know why this happened. Why is it that we didn't have so much sales last week? Why is it that we had so much attrition last week? Is it that we need to promote people? Is it that we need to increase their salary? Is it that we need to start giving bonuses? Is it that we need to give leave allowance and things like that? So that is diagnostics. Then when you mature, you can go to predictive, where you can now start saying, okay, what will happen in the future? Okay, then you can now start predicting into the future that this will happen in the next 5 years. This is likely to happen. This is likely to happen, and this is likely to happen. Then when you now outgrow that, you can move to prescriptive. When you now start saying, okay, this is what we need to do to get to where we want to be. This is what we should do. This is what we should do. Then the Oga Patapata is cognitive, right? Where you talk about investing in artificial intelligence, investing in robots, and the like. We saw what happened during COVID-19, right? We saw that some countries use robots to dispense drugs, right? So instead of having human contact, you can actually invest in physical robots, right, to help you do that. You can invest in drones. We have things around drones as well. You can invest in as small as customer services. You can automate customer service. So you can have not physical robot, like have a software robot that can help you. That's if you have the money, right? That can help you with customer service. That can help you attend to customers without you using humans. You can raise invoices with bots. You can send emails. You can do all those things. Those things are what you can do with data science. It's a very broad field. And unfortunately, in this part of the world, we don't have any universities studying data science as a degree course. But it's a very big stuff that if you can invest in, you get value for it. Like I say, even in medicine, I can use robots as a doctor, right? And robots will not go on holiday, robots will not run shifts, will not call in sick. I can use robots. Is it not doctor? Just that the robot will not be able to do surgery, right? But there are several things that robots can do for you. Robots will ask you.
That's in the future.
I've used robots to raise invoice and I use it a lot. And it's within seconds, I'm done. I'm like, why? Instead of waiting for the invoice to go up, within 30 seconds, I have my invoice and I'm fine, right? So in the hospital itself, is it not for the robot to ask you what is wrong with you? And you answer this. If they ask you, do you have this? You say, yes, I have this. Do you have this? Yes, I have this. Then to recommend the test you are going to run, right? When you run the test in the lab, you come back with the results. The robot will check if the result is above a particular threshold. We now tell you, okay, you have this. We diagnose you have this, and can prescribe the kind of drug you can use. So we should not underestimate what data science can do. So we can do a whole lot of, but irrespective, you can start from anywhere. I've run us through the analysis maturity curve. I said descriptives, you can start from there, right? It may not cost you so much money. I talk about diagnostics. I talk about predictive, which is very good. There are several things that need to be predictive. Then prescriptives, then cognitive. So you may also want to invest in a data analyst, have at least just one data analyst. I'm not saying that you should overuse data analyst. Data engineer because they are different. A data engineer is simply to help you manage your database, to query the database, to extract and ensure that data set is ready for use for your data scientist. So even data scientist is even different from a data analyst, but irrespective, you can start with one data analyst. You can just start from somewhere if you cannot do everything by yourself. So invest in data analyst, and since you know what you want, instruct the person what you want. And as your business starts growing, you can have a data office. We have some banks that have chief data officer. Not all banks have chief data officers, right? So you can have a data office, you can have data analytics unit where they can help you resolve all your data and analytics problems or challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Tena, do you have anything to add?
No comments.
Okay. So, thank you, our speakers. They have really, really helped us to do justice to these questions. And like I said, is a typical informal, gathering just for us to be able to pick one or two things, in applying data science to our businesses. I don't know whether there is any other person that wants to say something. Kunle, do you want to say something?
Thank you, and good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm trying to turn on this camera. Just a second. Actually, I have a question for the speakers.
Okay. Yeah, you can go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, a big thank you to our speakers, Pelumi and Sena. Really insightful talk. And my question is around almost the subtle, unspoken part of data science, the emotional part. And for a small business that's just picking up, who can't afford the service of a data analyst, would like to employ one, but right now it's just impractical. How would you advise the SMME to handle the issue of intimidation? And intimidation in terms of, you mentioned the number of tools one can use and working through different maturity levels of the business. So you initially mentioned the business can start with Excel, or maybe start with paper, they'll migrate to Excel. From Excel, you migrate to more advanced tools. The area of intimidation is around, there are so many tools to learn, to know, and there's just probably not enough time in a day to learn all of this. How would you advise the SMME to handle the issue of intimidation? Of course, we'd like to go into artificial intelligence and do a lot more fancy things, but it's also quite scary. And because of that, a lot of SMMEs just do nothing and stay with what they're used to, keep recording it on paper. How do you advise the SMME to overcome that hurdle? That's why I said it's almost unspoken, invisible, but the individual there is scared. How do I deal with this transition into the next stage? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, anybody can answer out of the speakers.
Sena, you can go first.
Okay. Intimidation in the area of so many tools, right? Kunle, if I get you, there are so many tools.
That's correct, yes.
How do you know which to pick? Okay, it still goes down. We are still going to go back to, okay, what actually do you want to achieve? Like, what do you exactly want to achieve? And then you start getting data, identify the kind of data you need for what you actually want to achieve. Then that will now tell you, okay, this is what we want to do. This is the kind of data we need. So we need a tool that can actually address this, our goal properly. It may not be 100%, it may be 90%. There's not one tool, well, to my knowledge, that will satisfactorily meet all the requirements. You may need to merge 2 and 2 together. So what I would say is, once you answer that question, you know the kind of data you need, you might say, okay, do I need an app that would help me effectively capture my finances? And then finances covers every area of your business. You have finance coming in. So you need to know your, what accountants call money receivable, money that is going out, your expenses, your inventory, and all of those things. So once you identify those things that you need to capture, then there are software. You don't need to just, maybe by word of mouth, you may ask someone, what tool do you use to manage your finances? They may give you recommendations, 1, 2, 3, try it out, but I think this one works best for me. You may just need to, what you now need to do that may take time is, You need to just sit down and explore. Or you tell the person who is managing your account, your accountant in the office, or somebody who is in charge of your finance, hey, try out these 3 tools and see which one would best suit our SMEs, our own business, or our own specialty, our own uniqueness that would give us that. So you just need to try to identify, maybe based on recommendation, and then subsequently, you keep trying it out. You keep trying out, you see one today, try it out. Does it capture all what we want and all what we want to do? Then you choose that. Forget it. Even if you choose one today, someone will still come tomorrow to say this one is better. But you just have to stick to one. And then once that one does not satisfactorily, you are no longer satisfied with the performance, you want to grow, then there is another one for the next level, and you can easily migrate data. You can easily check that it is compatible with the kind of data that you have already in the existing system, and then you migrate. And then some of these applications, some of these softwares also upgrade. They add new features every day. They add new features based on feedback. You might even suggest to the owners of, or to the developers of that particular application to say, do they have this feature? Do they have this? Do they have that? If you have issues, many of these applications are willing to put you through. So you may not even be the one learning. You can reach out to them, and then they would maybe do like a training for your finance officer or your accountant or your customer service person, and just put the person through on the features of the app that you may not even have explored that may help you achieve all of these things. So I think that's just when you identify what you actually want to achieve, then you know the kind of data you want, and then you just start trying out the apps. I'm not saying do a lot of trial and error. You can just start with one that has been recommended. Start with that, and then you keep upgrading your skill up on that. And it's not expensive. See, if you carry a phone around, your phone is your business. You can do it on your phone. You might not even need a laptop. Maybe tell the finance person, rather than doing a laptop, let me invest in a tab or a phone for you that I know on the go you can generate these things without having to come sit in the office. They are free, and you don't even have to invest in so much to get all of these things done. I don't know if I answer. I don't want to be mentioning apps or softwares or anything, but we can do that outside the recording. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bellumi, do you have anything to add to that?
Okay, so what I wanted to do was to just mention some of the tools that are available for use for data science. But I think Sena is careful answering, mentioning that. I think she wants to answer that offline. So I may also want to be quiet around that. But I just wanted to mention some of the tools, okay, that you can leverage on. So depending on the kind of analysis that you want to do, there is no that this software can do everything. No, okay. Those software are for particular locations. So for some special for specific challenges, problems, or data sets, right? So, but you can learn them as you wish. Okay, you can start from one, and if you have mastered this and you still want more value, right? Then you use another software that have that capacity to solve the problem you want to solve. So you start moving from there till you get there. I also want to mention, I wanted to.
Thank you. Yeah, I quite understand, and I get your perspective for not wanting to mention the tool. Actually, regardless of the number of people on this call, okay, the video is going to be posted and anybody can see it actually. So I quite understand why you probably want to be silent about.
But if you have I'm sure you have a group, you have a platform, right?
Yes, we have a group.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I can send you some of these tools, and then you just post it on the group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I promised us that we're going to use just an hour, and we're about an hour, 3 minutes now. So I'll just do a quick appreciation and round up the chat. I want to appreciate our speakers, but before I do that, let me just round up. So from what we have said a lot, our speakers have said a lot this afternoon. From answering the questions, they've told us the purpose, why it will be, necessary or important, or it will even benefit you to invest in data science right now for your business. And amongst the things that you might want to be looking at, benefiting from upselling, segmentation, and the likes. And also, they have also told us that you really don't have to have that much big of a budget to be able to start, investing or doing something around data science in your business. Okay, you can leverage on free apps and even Excel, and then gradually, depending on the state of your depending on the state of analytics readiness of your business, you can now be moving up the ladder like that. And then as regards the kind of data that you might want to start keeping for your business, they have told us a lot, starting from transactional data, even your customer complaint, your customer review, demographic data. You have an e-commerce website, you want to give them some tips to be able to get them registered on the platform so that you can leverage on those information for analytics in future. And you also want to either do it yourself by learning. There are a lot of ways to learn, courses, videos and all that, or you might want to invest in a data analyst for your business depending on the size of your business. And you can also even outsource. Okay, there are several platforms to outsource your data analytics problem these days. You have the freelance where you can post your job and then you don't even need to employ somebody to get the job done. So, and also they talked about how we can leverage on some AI, using a chatbot. There are free platforms. Also, I want to be careful about mentioning names right now. There are free platforms that you can actually develop a small chatbot. When you already have an e-commerce business, you already have a business that has a web presence, you can leverage on some of these platforms to be able to develop chatbots without even coding, okay? Or you can outsource it to somebody that can help you, and then you have an assistant that is always there attending to people even when you're not there. And I said a lot of things, and we really want to appreciate them. So that will take me to the appreciation. Really want to appreciate Sena for a wonderful time this afternoon. And we also want to appreciate Pelumi for a great time. We have learned a lot. And if there are any questions, like you said, we have a group, we'll definitely channel it, to you. That's the questions that we get on the chat. We definitely channel it to you. And if there is no other last word, do we have anything from anybody before I round up the chat? Okay, so if there is no other contribution, I would just like to round up by saying that the time is now. There's no other time to invest in data science, and it's better however crudest way you can. You just need to start thinking in that direction so that in the next few years, you will not regret not taking that step right now. So it's been a wonderful time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking questions. And thank you for, speaking on our panels. Thank you. So we'll bring it to an end. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank everyone for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.